folks, this is Ollie from Visordown, and I'm going to be gazing into my crystal ball to bring you the latest in shiny motorcycle metal that you could expect to be hitting the road near you in the coming months. These motorcycles have either been revealed, teased or spied by some eagle-eyed motorcycle spotters in the past few weeks, and we have to say there may well be some very exciting new machines to add to your shopping list very soon. Before we get underway, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so we can bring you all the latest news, reviews and discussion from the world of motorcycling. And of course, be sure to log on to visordown.com for your daily fix of two-wheel content. If you have any questions for us, go ahead and comment below this video and let us know which motorcycles you want us to compare and review. We also want to ask you to nominate which classic or iconic motorcycles you think deserve to be in Visordown's Dream Garage, a video feature we're working on based on your input. Again, just comment below. Let's get underway. Get that volume right up. This is the Kawasaki ZX25R. A proper pocket rocket that harks back to the age of grey imported small capacity sports bikes of the 80s and 90s. This Revy 250cc 4-cylinder engine bike was revealed early this year looking like a sharply suited ZX-10RR that's been shrunk in the wash, though recent events have ultimately forced its official debut back by a few weeks. A featherweight motorcycle that still generates upwards of a rumoured 48 horsepower. Unfortunately, strict emissions rules means the ZX-25R is strictly for Asian markets only, which frankly is a crying shame for us Europeans because, as you can see from these clips, with 17,000 RPM on tap, it sounds magnificent. Lockdown may have put a halt on all things, well everything, these past few weeks, but with measures easing across Europe, Bimota has wasted absolutely no time in getting right back on development for its new KB4. The Neo retro sports bike was teased in some very convincing renders a couple of months ago, before Bimota cheekily released some blurry teasers of a proper production model, which gives a few hints as to its styling and a bit of a headache from looking at it for too long. Nonetheless, we've now been able to get a proper look at it with these snaps finding their way onto social media of the Kawasaki Ninja 1000 SX engine machine. We can see the bubble fairing, circular headlamp and dynamic stance remains very much intact, but we're very curious to see more of that full-length duct, which suggests the radiators will be located under the seat. Either way, we expect this and the production version of the bonkers Tezzy H2 Hypersport to get a full public debut in the coming months. Okay, so we may not see this particular machine on the road anytime soon looking exactly like this, but if Honda has been paying attention to social media recently, they could do a lot worse than look at the feedback for this clever render. Produced by Car Design Concepts, this is what happens when you take the new CB-R1000RR Fireblade and strip it back to a look that, we have to say, looks like a very convincing CB1000R. Car Design Concepts have been very busy, mocking up a few variants for you to peruse on Instagram, but this one in full HRC livery grabs our attention. Will the new CB1000R look like this? Well, it's all very well and good designing a bike without the realities of actually having to build it, but based on the positive reception to this one, Honda might want to pop this one in an email to the design studio, you know, just in case. Here at Visordown, we've managed to get our hands on most of the new motorcycles that made their bow at the EICMA show in Milan, but the Aprilia RS660 Twin remains just out of reach for our greedy hands. The new sports bike, which will sit below the RS-V4 in Aprilia's lineup, was supposed to be getting its official launch around now, but you know the rest. Nonetheless, this hasn't stopped Noale Company getting some extra miles under their belt to ensure it's just right for when it does go on sale, as these spy shots reveal, which in turn give us a glimpse of some other paint options. Let's just say there are lots of motorcycles that have gotten us excited for 2020, but this, well, this might just be the one we're looking forward to the most. Husqvarna is feeling the power, if these spy shots are anything to go by. Indeed, one of the more interesting developments coming up over the next 12 months will be the growth of the Swedish company's range to reflect the models being offered by its sister/parent company KTM. We already know we'll be getting a production version of its funky and oh so Swedish looking Norden 901 adventure concept bike revealed at EICMA, but it doesn't look like that will be the sole use for the KTM-sourced 890cc engine. Indeed, looking closely at these spy shots, it also appears the unit will find its way into the Svartpilen range too. Joining the existing 401 and 701 models, the new more potent Svartpilen flagship could ramp up the power to around 120 horsepower, a big jump from the 701's 75 horsepower. And now for something completely different. This is the RMK E2, one of the many different electric motorcycle concepts from various ambitious startup companies looking to get an early Tesla-style slice of the move towards greener motoring. Except, while this may look like it's a long way off production, this is actually a very close resemblance to the final model we're going to see. Earlier this month, RMK confirmed the E2 is heading for production, and it will look very much like this. That means it's set to become one of the first motorcycles with feature an electric drive hubless rear end. RMK claims to have designed it to reduce the unsprung mass to make it more comparable to riding a conventionally powered motorcycle. Its performance figures are interesting too. 50 kilowatts, which is around 67 brake horsepower, and an instant 320 Newton meters of torque should get the bike to a restricted top speed of 100 miles an hour. This is definitely one we're going to be watching with interest. All eyes may have been goggling over the new Fireblade, but Honda also turned some heads with the CB4X concept motorcycle during the EICMA show. Though it claimed at the time it was just a design study, it seems Honda has been planning to put the CB4X into production if these well-developed renders are anything to go by. With the X standing for crossover, Honda claims it is a sporty tourer, but to us it looks like it's gunning for the likes of the Yamaha Tracer 700 and Kawasaki Virus Rangers. These grainy shots suggest the CB4X is heading to market looking relatively unchanged, but with a proposed 650cc inline 4 at its heart, we reckon this will lean closer to the sportier side of that crossover claim. Benelli is getting back in the sports bike game. Having said ciao to the triple-cylinder Tornado without offering up a replacement about a decade ago, it seems Benelli is looking to be making a sporting comeback in the middleweight class with this 600cc engine. The bike is closely related to the 600i Naked that's been doing the rounds recently, so we can expect around 84 brake horsepower and some sharp new clothing. The Benelli 600RR is just one of several new models planned by the historic Italian marque as it rides off the back of a revival since linking up with its new Chinese parent company. Last year, Benelli broke a sales record that allowed it to shift more motorcycles in 2019 than Ducati did. It's nice to know Harley-Davidson isn't forgetting us Brits. It's just launched a new limited edition version of its FXDR 114, which will be offered only in the UK and in Ireland. Only 30 versions of the Softail will be made available, though the upgrades over the standard model are fairly few and far between. Indeed, most changes focus on the exterior with the blank canvas white hues replaced by some smarter gold and black detailing, plus a liberal use of limited edition badging. If you want an FXDR 114 but aren't too bothered about customising it in your vision, then this could be the Harley for you. We love a good custom at Visordown, but some do stand out more than others sometimes. This is one such occasion with Suzuki Switzerland transforming a GSX R1000 into the somewhat curiously named Virus, a stripped down, sharpened up naked version of the TT winning superbike. It certainly looks the business, and it's arguably more eye-catching than anything Suzuki itself has produced in a while, but there is substance too, with a carbon frame, Magura mast cylinders, and Litec adjustable foot pegs. We don't like to beg, but hey Suzuki, are you watching this?